Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Stoveside Chats. We officially have a name. Again, every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Thank you for being here. Um, my guest today is Chef Michael Bowling. And I'm going to go ahead and waiting on him to come in. Chef Michael Bowling.
Can you hear me? We good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So let's start out. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get started cooking and all that fun stuff?
So I hate to say it. I know people say this all the time, but I've been cooking my whole life. Started out, of course, in the kitchen with my mother. My first memory is when she won a cooking competition with PM Magazine back in
Oh,
the early '80s.
yeah.
It was Tab Soda and PM Magazine. We lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then one of her recipes was published in a Fannie Farmer's cookbook. And it's just been one of those progressions through life, cooking with my mother and my aunts and watching my grandmother fry chicken and cook collard greens and cornbread. And that was the beginning. And when I was about 14, I started washing dishes in a nursing home. And then from there to fast food to casual dining to upscale casual to fine dining, and I finally went to Johnson and Wales the spring after 9/11.
Okay. All right. And we've talked about that on Facebook. I'm a J&W grad also. We graduated from the Charleston campus many years ago. Um, so I keep up with you on Facebook. I really enjoy your posts. You're into music, I can see. I appreciate that, and it's a big part of what you do, it seems like.
It is. I mean, music is part of my life. Once again, that's one of those things that goes back. When I was a young kid in Chattanooga, Tennessee, my mother was always keeping me and my sister involved in the arts. So I played cello and violin in elementary school, sung in the Chattanooga Boys Choir, and then from there, I was in band in high school, and I was a rapper. I was in choir in high school. We were actually an award-winning baritone section, my graduating class. And then from there, it was just always at some point in time, music was part of my life. My mother did a gospel album in the '80s. So, I mean, it's really artsy family. I took ballet because my sister took ballet and I was always there. So I
Mm,
did a year of ballet, was in the Nutcracker. So I have a really interesting past as far as the arts are concerned. So it's always been a part of my life. And in the kitchen now, we're always listening to some type of music, whether it be '70s and '80s rock. I'm big into funk, blues, and jazz. One of my sons works for me, and he's a rapper. So we're always listening to his music. And it's just, it helps the day move on. It helps
yeah,
things go by, sets a rhythm for the day.
absolutely, for sure. Yeah, cooking and I've got a lot of friends who are great musicians, and we often talk about food and make comparisons between food and music, and there's a lot of parallels there. Talk to us about Hotbox. What are you guys doing there? Now, first of all, tell us how long has the Hotbox brand been around and how it's progressed?
The brand of Hotbox has probably been around for probably about 7, 8 years. Started as a food truck. Um, it was it was one of the, I have to say, I will say it, and we were voted one of the best food trucks in Charlotte for several years. The food truck game is brutal. I believe it's a little oversaturated in the Charlotte market right now. We've got some great trucks, and then we have some trucks that aren't so great, which is in any industry.
Hmm.
Um, the when I got out of the food truck business about 2, 3 years ago, partially because I got tired of getting my truck fixed. Um, I'm a kidney dialysis patient. So I another reason I got out is because I was back on dialysis. And doing dialysis and owning a food truck is a hard balance to find. But I guess it's about this time last year, I'm a member of PCG, and I was on the PCG page, and Ford Craven, who was one of the owners of the brewery, which Hotbox is in now, had put up a post. They were looking for somebody to operate the kitchen, basically open and operate the kitchen here at Southern Strain Brewing. And I sent him an email. He was just like, when can you come up? Come up anytime and let's sit down and talk. I was like, I'll be there in 2 hours. So I came up that same day, met with Ford, Jake, and Bart the brewer. We hit it off, and it's kind of all history from there. We opened up in October to a big boom. Things were great. Everything was going good. And then the Rona hit. So everything kind of slowed down about 2 months ago, but we just reopened over the weekend, and things are looking back up.
That's great. How's phase 2 going so far for you guys?
You know, I can't complain. We had a decent weekend. Of course, not what we would normally do on a Saturday and a Sunday, but we did business, which is something that we haven't been doing. The whole carry out and pickup thing really didn't go well for us. We're in the middle of a neighborhood right in the center of what I would call Concord proper. And people just weren't really receptive to our style of food. We're a brew pub, but, we're doing, we do third pound hamburgers, chuck brisket blend, multi-grain bun. We try to do really great food, and it's not something that everybody wants to grab and pick up. But when we're open, they come out. A lot of our regulars came back out this weekend. As you know, we've got a very large social media presence. We try to post on a regular basis. I try to do videos once or twice a week. And people were out like, hey, man, we came out because we saw you on Instagram. So, it was nice to see people come out and give us a lot of support.
Yeah, you guys do have a great presence on social media. And you're a bit like, again, your videos are great, man. I love your positive energy, and you always have words of wisdom and encouragement, which is always welcome, and especially now. So thank you for always having that positive attitude.
For sure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Soul Food Sessions.
Oh, man. Soul Food Sessions started out just as myself, Jamie Barnes, Greg Williams, and Greg Collier, and Jamie Turner getting together and wanting to be in a kitchen surrounded by people that look like us. That's how things started. And then the response was so great that we wanted to continue to do that and bring in other chefs and introduce some of the younger chefs and have some fairly well-known chefs from around the state and around the region come in and cook with us. And it just turned into really a movement. You're seeing a lot more of dinners such as ours, where we play hip hop music all night, and it's a fun, laid back atmosphere. Come as you are. We do cocktail pairings instead of wine pairings, using local mixologists. For a year, we were sponsored by Coca-Cola Consolidated, and they took us, to Baltimore, to DC, to Charleston, and we did dinners there as well, using everybody from the Cocktail Bandits to Omar Tate, who just had a really large write-up in I think it was Esquire, and people like that. And, we've had, Keith Rhodes came and cooked with us, and it was a movement that just grew. We did scholarship fund, and we gave, I think, 10 to 15 scholarships away a couple of years ago to help kids, minority kids that wanted to get into the culinary and hospitality industry. And, we've been slow this year with Greg opening a new restaurant and me opening my place, but we plan to get things back going, not only with the original 5 founders, but with our Young Guns movement, which are chefs under the age of 30 that people really don't know about. And it's a lot of young minority chefs, African-American chefs that are up and coming. And part of what we want to do is foster them so they can be the leaders of the industry, not just from a minority standpoint, but from an overall standpoint.
That's really cool. I'm glad you guys are bringing up that next generation and helping to preserve those the kind of the the African American and Creole kind of foodways that are really important to Southern food and American food in general. So that's really, really cool. And the first time, well, actually, the only time I've had y'all's food was at the Piedmont Culinary Guild Symposium last year, and you guys did lunch for them, and it was fantastic. So that's really, really cool. Now, you guys were at the Beard House, right, last year? Did you guys go to the James?
Yep, we did. I think we did Beard October or November. Just it was something that we had always talked about being able to do. But when Greg got his nomination, it kind of opened up a door for all of us to be able to go up and do an event as Soul Food Sessions.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's such a great experience. I was fortunate enough when I was younger to be able to cook at the Beard House, and it's something that I'll always remember. It's a neat experience, such a tiny kitchen, and people are walking through and watching you cook, and you're elbow to elbow and introducing New Yorkers to food they probably never had before.
Yeah, so it's a great time. It's a great time.
Well, good deal. We just have a few more minutes. What restaurants in Charlotte are you most excited to go out and eat once you guys are kind of back to normal and you can take a little bit of time away and get out into somebody else's dining room?
I'm partial. I mean, I will just be honest. I'm real partial. I can't wait to get to Lee and Louise. They were supposed to open at the beginning of this, and then, of course, COVID happened, so they've been put behind. I think Greg's trying to get opened up the first couple of weeks of June. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to really spend some time at Camp North End as a whole. They're opening their food court soon, and Blue Barn Bistro is going to be up there. I'm excited about. I've always been a fan of Lewis, so I can't wait to get back to Sweet Lou's. I don't get down there that much, but I think it's some of the best barbecue in the state, maybe even in the region. The Ashbury is a great place to always eat when I've got a great date to go on. I love Mike Long. I loved when Matt Krenz was there, when Chris Coleman was there. I want to get to Goodyear House as well. And I can't wait to actually have a Friday night when I'm not at work and run down to Charlotte and sit at the bar on a Friday night at the Stanley and have their burger. Those are the places that I want to go. And I'm waiting for my man Bob Peters to get that new bar that he's talking about opening up. I want to get in there too. Like, I love a good cocktail. I'm excited about Lee and Louise because Justin Hazelton is running up their bar program. So, I mean, there's a lot of places that I want to get to. It's hard to get everywhere. As a chef, we don't get to eat out as much as we like, but those are some of the places that are high on my list.
Cool. Well, it's a great list. Hope you get to check them all out sooner than later. And again, thank you for your time. I know you're busy getting back on your feet and get back into phase 2. So thank you for spending a few minutes with us, and I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. See you soon.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next Wednesday. I don't remember who we have coming up, but in the next few weeks, we have Jesse Ledbetter from Fresh List in Charlotte, Chef James Patterson from Sedgefield Country Club, farmer Randy Lewis of Ranloo Dairy. So we're trying to talk to not just chefs, but to people in the part of the distribution chain, and the producers and farmers that are part of that chain as well. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye.